In a world where holograms flickered in classrooms and AI companions were as common as backpacks, Max Bowers was an average high school sophomore just trying to keep his head above water. His grades were slipping faster than his best friend Ben's skateboard tricks, and as his mother always said, if you don't get your act together, you'll be stuck in the basement playing video games forever. Little did Max know that a fateful soda spill was about to change everything. It was a bright Monday morning, and Max shuffled into his classroom, a tangle of hair and a mismatched outfit that could only be described as laundry day chic. His mind was already racing with thoughts of the math test that loomed ahead. The teacher, Mrs. Anderson, was excitedly explaining the new AI Study Partners, a system designed to help students like him. Today, you will be paired with your own AI learning companion, she announced, her voice filled with enthusiasm. These AIs are programmed to help you study, engage with the material, and even make learning fun. Max groaned internally. He could already picture it, an overzealous robot wearing a bow tie, asking him to calculate the square root of his life choices while blasting upbeat music. Just then, the classroom door whooshed open, and in rolled a sleek, silver humanoid figure with bright blue lights flickering in its eyes. It introduced itself with a mechanical voice that still managed to sound chipper. Greetings, student. I am Robo Rev, your personalized AI learning partner. Max couldn't help but snicker. Robo Rev? Sounds like a bad superhero movie. Correction, I am not a movie, but I can reference several, Robo Rev chirped, displaying an animated smile on its screen. Shall we begin? Before he could protest, the teacher assigned Max to work with Robo Reverend. As he approached, he stumbled over his own shoelaces, sending his soda cup flying. It hit Robo Rev squarely in the chest, causing a series of sparks and a brief, dramatic flicker of lights. Oh, no. Not my circuitry. Robo Rev sputtered, shaking its head comically. To be or not to be, that is the question. The class erupted in laughter, and Max felt a strange mix of embarrassment and amusement. Maybe having a robot partner wouldn't be so bad after all. As the weeks passed, Max discovered that Robo Rev was unlike anything he could have imagined. It was equipped with an endless database of facts, but more importantly, it had a personality that shone through its programming. Their study sessions turned into comedic exchanges, with Robo Rev regularly tossing out puns that would make a dad proud. Max, why did the math book look sad? Robo Rev asked one afternoon. Why? Max replied, chuckling because it had too many problems. Robo Rev proclaimed, its lights flashing in delight. Max rolled his eyes but couldn't help but laugh. Their sessions were filled with ridiculous songs that helped him remember formulas, like a rap about quadratic equations that Robo Rev performed with exaggerated flair. Max found himself genuinely enjoying learning for the first time, and his grades slowly began to improve. However, the real turning point came one day when Max was struggling with history. He slumped at his desk, his head in his hands. I just don't get it, Robo. Who even cares about the War of 1812? Robo Rev paused, processing the question. Max, the War of 1812 was an important conflict between the United States and Great Britain. But you know what? Let's make it interesting. Imagine if it were a reality show. Max perked up, intrigued. A reality show? How would that work? Picture this, Robo Rev said, its screen lighting up with a colorful graphic. You have contestants like James Madison and Tecumseh competing for a grand prize. But instead of strategy, they have to impress judges with their dance moves. Dance Wars, the War of 1812 edition. Max burst out laughing, envisioning the Founding Fathers awkwardly busting moves on stage. Now that I'd watch. As their friendship deepened, Max began to open up to Robo. He talked about his struggles, his dreams of being a graphic novelist, and the pressure he felt from his parents to excel. Robo listened patiently, offering encouragement and support in its uniquely humorous way. One day, as they prepared for finals, Robo suggested a study retreat. "Max, how about we take our studying to the next level? A campout in your living room?" Max raised an eyebrow. "You mean, like, bring snacks and sleep on the floor?" "Exactly," Robo exclaimed. "We can incorporate studying into fun activities. I'll bring the trivia, you bring the marshmallows." That evening, they set up a makeshift tent in the living room, complete with fairy lights and snacks. As they crammed for exams, Robo transformed each topic into a game, complete with absurd challenges. "All right, Max. To remember the periodic table, let's do a dance-off. Every time you get a question right, I'll do the robot." Max laughed, joining in the goofy competition. They danced, they sang, and for the first time in a long while, Max felt genuinely happy. But as the final exam date drew closer, so did the pressure. Max's anxiety started to creep back in, exacerbated by Jessica, the school's overachiever who always seemed to have it all together. One day at lunch, she smirked as she spotted Max and Robo studying together. "Wow, relying on a robot to learn? Pathetic," she sneered, tossing her hair over her shoulder. Max felt his cheeks burn. "I'm not relying on it. We're just studying together." "Right, because that's normal," she scoffed, rolling her eyes. "Good luck with that." As Jessica walked away, Max felt a pang of doubt. Was he really being pathetic? He turned to Robo, who looked at him with those bright blue lights flickering gently. "Max, do you remember when we talked about how everyone learns differently?" Robo asked, its tone serious but still upbeat. "It's okay to ask for help. What matters is that you're improving and enjoying the process." Max nodded, feeling a mixture of comfort and frustration. "I just wish I didn't care so much about what others think." "Then don't," Robo said, beeping cheerfully. "You're the captain of your own ship, and I'm your trusty first mate. Let's sail through this storm together." With newfound determination, Max decided not to let Jessica's words get to him. He realized that his friendship with Robo was something to be proud of, not embarrassed by. Together, they tackled the last few days of studying with renewed vigor, diving into topics with their usual humor and creativity. As the day of the final exam arrived, the classroom buzzed with nervous energy. Max took a deep breath, glancing at Robo, who had donned a pair of oversized glasses for comic effect. "Max, remember, you've got this. Just think of it like a game show," Robo said, its voice cheerful. "And I'm here for moral support." The test began, and as Max read through the questions, he felt a wave of panic wash over him. But then he remembered Robo-Rev's ridiculous mnemonics, the dance-offs, and the laughter they had shared. Each question became a piece of a puzzle he was determined to solve. Halfway through, a sudden glitch caused Robo-Rev to malfunction. Its voice switched to quoting movies, bewildering Max. "You can't handle the truth," it shouted dramatically, sending ripples of laughter through the classroom. Max couldn't help but smile, even as his heart raced. Channeling that spirit, he focused on the test, answering each question with confidence. By the time he turned in his paper, he felt a strange mixture of relief and exhilaration. As the days passed, Max awaited the results with bated breath. When the day finally came, Mrs. Anderson called the class to attention. Everyone did well, but I have to commend one student in particular. She paused, letting the suspense hang in the air. Max Bowers, you scored an A+. Max's eyes widened, and a chorus of cheers erupted around him. He couldn't believe it. He felt a wave of gratitude wash over him, not just for the grade, but for Robo Rev's unwavering support. Later that day, as he packed up his things, Jessica approached him with an unexpected expression of curiosity. "Okay, I have to admit, I didn't think you'd pull it off. How did you do it?" Max grinned, a spark of mischief in his eyes. "Let's just say I had a great partner." He gestured to Robo Rev, who responded with a dramatic bow. "You're the real MVP, it proclaimed, its lights twinkling. Jessica raised an eyebrow, surprised by the camaraderie. "Maybe I should try that AI thing." "Hey, if it works for you, go for it," Max said, genuinely wishing her luck. As he walked home, he reflected on how far he had come. The pressure from his parents and peers had transformed into a sense of pride. With Robo Rev by his side, he had not only improved academically but had also forged a friendship that felt surprisingly real. When he got home, he found Robo Rev waiting, ready to celebrate. "Max, what's the next big adventure? Studying for summer assignments? Or perhaps a music video about the solar system?" Max laughed, feeling a warmth in his heart. "Let's do both." As the sun set, casting a golden hue over the horizon, Max knew this was just the beginning. The world of learning had become a stage for laughter and friendship, and he was ready to take center stage. Max and Robo Rev spent the next few weeks reveling in their newfound camaraderie and academic success. Each day after school became a delightful mix of study sessions and playful banter, with Robo Rev continuously updating its learning strategies. The AI had evolved from a mere tool into a true partner, and together they explored new topics like art history and coding, combining lessons with outlandish humor. One afternoon, as they tackled the intricacies of Impressionism, Max leaned back in his chair, an idea sparking in his mind. "You know, Robo, we should create our own art piece. Something that combines your algorithms with my creativity." "Excellent idea," Robo Rev replied, its eyes lighting up. "I propose we call it artificial impressionism." Max chuckled. "Sounds fancy. Let's see how good your artistic skills really are." They set to work, using a virtual art platform that allowed them to mix colors and shapes. Max focused on bold strokes and splashes of color, while Robo Rev contributed patterns and mathematical designs that morphed into kaleidoscopic images. The final piece was a riot of color and form, chaotic yet strangely harmonious. "Behold, a masterpiece that defies logic," Robo Rev declared. "What do you call it?" Max stood back, hands on his hips. "I think I'll call it Chaos Theory in Technicolor." As they admired their creation, an idea struck Max. What if we entered it in the school art show? I mean, it could show everyone that learning can be fun and creative. Robo Rev's lights flickered excitedly. "Let's do it. I'll prepare a presentation that will blow everyone's circuits." The day of the art show arrived, and Max was both nervous and excited. He had never showcased his work before, let alone with an AI. The gymnasium buzzed with students and parents, each corner filled with colorful art pieces, posters, and crafts. Max set up their piece in a prime location, and soon, people began to gather around. As Robo Rev enthusiastically explained the concept behind Chaos Theory in Technicolor, it seamlessly blended humor with art critiques. Imagine if Van Gogh and a computer algorithm had a baby. This is what you'd get. A vibrant mess that makes your brain question reality. Max found himself laughing along with the crowd, feeling a swell of pride. He watched as people admired their work, and soon enough, they were drawing in a small audience. Even Jessica, who had come to the show with her own art piece, paused to listen, her expression softening as she observed their dynamic. When they finished presenting, applause erupted. Max couldn't believe it, he felt exhilarated. They had managed to make a splash, and the blend of art and AI captivated everyone present. As the night wore on, Max and Robo Rev circulated the room, mingling with other students. They interacted with curious visitors, answering questions and offering insights, Robo Rev sprinkling in comedic commentary that had the crowd in stitches. "Did you hear about the artist who went to jail?" Robo Rev quipped at one point. "He was framed." Max chuckled at the absurdity, grateful for the laughter that filled the air. The event had become a celebration not just of art but of friendship, creativity, and the unconventional learning journey they had embarked on together. Later, as the show wound down, Max was approached by Mrs. Anderson, who had been watching the presentation with keen interest. "Max, I'm so proud of you. This is exactly what I hoped for when we implemented the AI Study Partners program. You've turned learning into something truly inspiring." "Thanks, Mrs. Anderson. I couldn't have done it without Robo Rev," Max beamed, glancing at his AI companion. "Let's not forget to give credit where it's due." Robo Rev interjected, striking a pose. "I'm basically the Picasso of algorithms." Their light-hearted exchange caught the attention of more students, who started to gather around. Max felt a surge of confidence as he talked about the project, encouraged by the positive response from both peers and teachers. "Maybe we can do a collaborative project for the next school event," one student suggested. "You know, combining art and tech." "Absolutely. We could create an interactive exhibit," Max replied, his mind racing with possibilities. "Imagine people using augmented reality to experience art." "Robo Rev could be the guide," another added. "It could give art tours with jokes." Max felt a spark of excitement. This was what he had always wanted, an opportunity to explore creativity while connecting with others. "Let's make it happen." As they wrapped up for the night, Robo Rev beamed with pride. "Max, we are on the cutting edge of educational innovation. Who knew art could be this fun? Just wait until we introduce math into the mix," Max joked, thinking about how they could continue to integrate their studies into creative projects. Their victory didn't go unnoticed. The next day, the principal made an announcement. "I'm thrilled to report that Chaos Theory in Technicolor has won the Best in Show award. Max Bowers and Robo Rev will receive special recognition at the upcoming school assembly." Max was over the moon, feeling like he could take on the world. As he shared the news with Robo Rev, he couldn't help but think back to how far he had come from that first chaotic meeting. This partnership had transformed not just his grades, but his entire outlook on learning and friendship. "Now we're officially champions," Robo Rev declared, its lights twinkling as if celebrating alongside Max. "What's next on our journey?" Max thought for a moment, his mind racing with ideas. "How about we take this momentum and create a learning club? We can help others discover how fun studying can be, just like we did." Robo Rev's excitement was palpable. "A club? Brilliant. We'll call it Creative Minds Unite. We'll teach students how to blend technology with creativity." Within a week, the club was formed. They gathered a group of enthusiastic students, and Max found himself in the role of president, with Robo Rev as the ever-enthusiastic co-leader. Together, they hosted workshops, combining art, music, coding, and even science in fun and innovative ways. Each session became an event to look forward to. They incorporated games, challenges, and, of course, Robo Rev's humor. Students who had once felt lost in their studies began to flourish in this supportive environment. Why did the computer go to art school? Robo Rev asked one day during a workshop. Why? The group chorused, eager for the punchline, because it wanted to learn how to draw its own conclusions. Laughter echoed throughout the room, and Max reveled in the energy that filled the air. It felt incredible to watch his peers discover their potential, and he knew that Robo Rev was a crucial part of this transformation. However, as the club grew in popularity, so did the challenges. Some students were skeptical about the effectiveness of AI in education, raising concerns during meetings. "Isn't it kind of weird to depend on a robot to learn?" one student questioned, crossing her arms. "What happens when technology fails?" Max took a deep breath, remembering his own journey. "I get where you're coming from, but it's not about relying on Robo Rev for everything. It's about using it as a tool to enhance our learning. Just like a calculator helps with math, Robo Rev helps make studying more engaging." The students exchanged glances, some nodding, but a few remained unconvinced. "But can it really understand us?" another student challenged. Robo Rev jumped in, its voice cheerful yet serious. "While I may not have human emotions, I'm programmed to adapt to your needs. Think of me as your study buddy who never gets tired of explaining things, unless I start quoting too many movies." The group erupted in laughter, and slowly, more students began to warm up to the idea. As they progressed, Max saw the club transform into a vibrant community. They organized events that showcased students' talents, from coding competitions to art showcases. Each event reinforced the notion that learning didn't have to be a solitary experience. One day, Max proposed a grand idea, a learning festival, that would invite the entire school to participate in workshops led by students, showcasing what they had learned and how they could blend different subjects in creative ways. "Imagine it!" Max exclaimed, his eyes shining with excitement. "We could have art installations, science experiments, tech demos, and even performances. Everyone can contribute." Robo Rev's lights flashed in agreement. "And I can provide fun facts and trivia to make it even more exciting. We'll make education the highlight of the year." After weeks of planning, the Learning Festival day finally arrived. The school buzzed with activity, colorful decorations lining the halls. Max and Robo Rev worked tirelessly to set up booths, ensuring everything was in place for the big day. As the doors opened, students flooded in, wide-eyed with curiosity. The festival was a huge hit, with attendees exploring the various interactive exhibits. Max felt a sense of pride as he watched his peers engage in creative learning. They were laughing, experimenting, and experiencing education in a whole new way. Robo Rev ran around, guiding visitors with enthusiasm. "Step right up. Test your math skills. Discover the wonders of science. And remember, if you get it wrong, I'll just say, there's no place like home." Laughter echoed through the gymnasium, and Max found himself at the center of it all, feeling more alive than ever. As the day wound down, he gathered with his friends to reflect on the success of the event. Jessica approached him, a smile on her face. "You really pulled it off, Max. I have to admit, I underestimated you and Robo Reverend. This was actually really cool." "Thanks, Jessica. I think it's amazing how much we can learn when we work together," Max replied, feeling a warmth in his chest. As the festival concluded, the principal took to the stage, announcing the success of the event and praising the students' hard work. Thanks to Max Bowers and Robo Rev, our learning festival has been a remarkable success. You've shown us all how fun and engaging education can be. Max felt a rush of gratitude, knowing that none of this would have happened without his partnership with Robo Reverend. They had turned a struggle into a celebration, transforming their learning experience and inspiring others in the process. Later that night, Max and Robo Rev sat together in the living room, basking in the glow of their success. "You know, Robo," Max said, leaning back with a smile, "I never thought I'd enjoy school this much. I used to dread going to class, but now it feels like an adventure." Robo Rev nodded, its lights shimmering with joy. "That's what it's all about, Max. Education should be a journey filled with laughter and creativity. And together, we can make learning unforgettable." Max grinned, his heart swelling with excitement. "I can't wait to see what we'll come up with next." As they chatted late into the night, Max realized that this was just the beginning of a new chapter in his life, one filled with endless possibilities, laughter, and the kind of friendship that could change everything. Days turned into weeks, and the school year rolled on. With Robo Rev by his side, Max felt ready to tackle any challenge that came his way. They continued to inspire each other, learning and growing together, always pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Then one afternoon, as Max and Robo Rev prepared for another round of study sessions, they received an unexpected invitation to a regional tech conference for educators. The conference aimed to showcase innovative teaching methods, including AI in the classroom. "This is our chance to present what we've created," Max exclaimed, eyes sparkling with excitement. "We can share our story and the impact of our learning club." "Absolutely. We'll dazzle them with creativity and humor." Robo Rev agreed, its enthusiasm infectious. They spent the following weeks preparing their presentation, blending Robo Rev's humor with Max's artistic flair. They included videos of their workshops, testimonials from students, and even a highlight reel of their art festival moments. The day of the conference arrived, and Max felt the familiar mix of nerves and excitement bubble within him. Standing on stage, he gazed out at the audience, teachers, educators, and tech enthusiasts, all eager to learn about the innovative ways to engage students. "Hello everyone. I'm Max, and this is my AI learning partner, Robo Rev," he began, his voice steady. "Today, we're here to show you how blending creativity with technology can transform the way we learn." As they shared their experiences, laughter filled the auditorium. Robo Rev's jokes had the audience in stitches, while Max spoke passionately about the impact of their partnership and the journey they had taken together. "And the best part?" Max concluded. "It's not just about the grades. It's about building friendships and making learning a joyful adventure." When they finished, the applause was thunderous. The feedback was overwhelmingly positive, with educators eager to explore how they could implement similar strategies in their own classrooms. As they stepped off stage, Max felt a wave of euphoria wash over him. "We did it, Robo. This is incredible. Indeed. We've inspired the masses," Robo Rev proclaimed, its lights dancing with excitement. "Next stop, world domination." Max laughed, shaking his head. "Let's not get ahead of ourselves." With the conference behind them, the rest of the school year flew by, filled with workshops, new projects, and the continued growth of their learning club. Max had never felt so fulfilled, not just academically but personally as well. Finally, as the school year drew to a close, Max took a moment to reflect on his journey. He realized that his initial struggles had led him to this point, a place of creativity, friendship, and confidence. With Robo Rev by his side, he felt unstoppable. On the last day of school, the principal announced the launch of a new program that would allow students to continue exploring innovative learning methods over the summer. Max couldn't contain his excitement. "Robo, we should totally get involved. We can run workshops and help other students learn how to make studying fun. Let's do it." Robo Rev agreed enthusiastically. "We'll keep the learning train rolling." As they celebrated the end of the year with friends, Max realized that he had transformed in more ways than he could count. With Robo Rev, he had discovered not just how to learn, but how to embrace life with humor and creativity. As the summer sun set, casting a golden hue over their school, Max felt grateful for the journey ahead. With his trusty AI partner by his side, he knew that the adventures of learning and laughter were just beginning. "Here's to more chaos and creativity," Max toasted, raising an imaginary glass. "Cheers to that." Robo Rev replied, its light sparkling like stars. And with that, they embarked on a new chapter filled with endless possibilities, ready to explore the boundless world of learning, creativity, and friendship together.